Hi guys, welcome back to Firestorm Games and another episode of the Hobby Table. In this video we're going to be showing you how you can paint the Adeptus Custodes, and we'll be using a Virtus Praetor to do so. Now before we can begin painting our miniature, we first of all need to prime it. Now I started off with a black primer, and over the top of that I used Games Workshop's Retributor Armour spray to get that base colour of the golden armour. Now you can use this with a regular brush if you want to, but it's a lot easier to use the spray can instead. Now you may have also noticed that I've kept the components separate, and this is to make painting those hard to reach areas much easier. After priming, the first task is to tackle all of the golden armour, and the first thing we want to do is to apply a dry brush of Golden Griffon. Now Golden Griffon is a dry paint, which means it's perfect for dry brushing, and to dry brush you want to take your brush, dip it in the paint, remove most of the excess onto a piece of paper or tissue until you only have a very small amount of paint left on that brush, and then you want to drag it across all the golden areas of your miniature. Now this will build up a lighter layer of gold paint on those raised sections and really help to bring out the detailing in this model. The next step in painting the golden armour is to apply a wash of Reikland Fleshshade across all of the golden areas. Now this wash will flow into those recesses and help to bring out the detailing by creating the effect of shading. Now it will also stain the colour of the golden armour as well, giving it that nice warm gold colour that the Custodes have. So with all of our golden areas completed, we can now start to work on the silver metallic areas on the miniature. Now, there's quite a lot of areas on our jet bike here, but there's also quite a few areas on the miniature itself. So we want to paint all these areas using a base coat of Leadbelcher. Now whenever you apply your base coat, I would recommend creating a mixture of 1 part paint to 1 part water to thin down your paint. Apply 1 layer and then apply a second layer over the top after you've allowed that first layer to dry. And this will give you the best coverage possible and help to prevent obscuring any details by applying the paint too thickly. With all of our metallic areas completed for the time being, we can now move on to painting some of the red areas, and for this we want to use Mephiston Red. Now we want to apply a base coat to the various cloth areas, including the cloth that I'm tackling here, the trousers, and also the red plume on the helmet as well. Next we want to tackle any of the red leather areas that we have on this miniature. This includes the boots, the gloves, the hilt of the sword, and also the seat on the Virtus Praetor's jet bike as well. And we want to base coat all these areas using the slightly darker Khorne Red. The next step is to paint any of the black areas that we have on this miniature. This is mainly going to be the lance that our Virtus Praetor is carrying. Now we want to base coat these areas using Abaddon Black. Continuing with the base layers, we now want to apply a layer of Thousand Suns Blue to the very tip of our lance, and any energy weapons that your Custodes may be carrying should be tackled in the same way. To finish off our blades of energy, we now want to apply an edge highlight of Baharroth Blue. Now to highlight, simply take your brush, which is a very small amount of paint on the tip of that brush, and then lightly drag it along the edges of your miniature. This will create a nice strong edge, which will really help to enhance the effect that these are glowing energy. With all of our base layers completed, we can now start applying some washes to the various areas of our miniature. We want to start off with a Nuln Oil wash, and I'll be applying this to all of the silver metallic areas that we have on this miniature. In addition to the silver metallic areas, I'll also be using the Nuln Oil wash to darken down the areas of red leather that we've painted previously. The very final step in painting our miniature is to apply a wash of Carroburg Crimson to all of the areas that we painted with Mephiston Red. And here we have the fully assembled and completed Virtus Praetor. Now whilst I focused on tackling one of the Virtus Praetors, you could apply the exact same colours and techniques that I've used in this video to any of the Adeptus Custodes units. You can find a full list of the paints used in this tutorial along with the order that they were used in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, do give us your suggestions about what other miniatures you would like to see us quickly paint. And finally, the miniature and all of the paints used in this video can be found on the Firestorm Games web store for 10% less than the RRP. And you can find a link to Firestorm Games on the screen now, as well as the description below. So a huge thank you from us for watching this video, and we'll see you again on Firestorm Games.